This was the second match in the Darkest Days 2 vs 2 historical battle tournament being held at the Total War Centre. The battle chosen this time is Carrhae. Here you see myself, Cluny the Scourge, commanding the Armenians. My Easterner ally, Selifator, is commanding the Parthians. And we are facing off against our opponent's GeneralChaos, leading the Brutii, and as the Scipii contingent of the Roman army, Decimator. Now in this battle the Easterners have a considerable force of cavalry, 3 cataphracts and 2 armoured Eastern generals between them, some horse archers, cataphract archers, a unit of war elephants, Arab light cavalry. The Romans on the other hand have all the advantages so far as infantry are concerned, and they also have superior missile troops. Their archers, Archer Auxilia, have longer range than the slingers and archers available to the Easterners, and that's a significant factor considering the usefulness of horse archers in showering the enemy with arrows from a distance. The Romans need that striking power. Now, as the battle began, I, as the Armenians, formed a line of infantry with archers in front. The Parthians began to close in on the enemy, and we waited for the Romans to make the first moves, which turned out to be an advance against the Armenians. As you can see there, the Brutii are heading over to face against the Armenian army, and the Scipii are moving cavalry over against the Armenian left to menace them there. This is not the wisest move, considering the superiority of the Eastern cavalry, especially given the presence of elephants nearby. Elephants are pretty lethal against horse cavalry. The Romans really should be thinking about concentrating their cavalry together. Also, if they wanted to make a move against the Armenians while they were still separated from the Parthians, they really should have been doing so with greater vigour and speed. As it is, the Parthian cataphracts, their super heavy cavalry, are headed over to join the Armenians, and those isolated Scipii Roman cavalry are looking a very appealing target to my armoured Eastern general, my light cavalry and my elephants, who are now swarming toward them. And if the Scipii aren't on the ball and realise how vulnerable they are there, they're going to lose half of their cavalry contingent. And in the Carrhae map, it is the Scipii who have the majority of the Roman cavalry, while the Brutii have responsibility for the bulk of Roman infantry. Here you see I've caught them. The elephants are storming in, and those units of cavalry are going to be broken pretty quickly. I would guess that at that moment the attention of the Scipii general was drawn toward the movements of the Parthians, which, as we see here, are indeed highly distracting. The horse archers are forming a long line to shower the enemy with missiles from a distance there on one flank, while the enemy are covered over here by missile troops, which have drawn the attention of the Brutii cavalry. They were too far out ahead of the Parthian cataphracts. However, the Brutii were unable to inflict enough casualties to rout them before the cataphracts came in to warn them off. The Romans realise that they are surrounded and decide that their only hope is to begin an infantry battle with the Parthian super heavy cataphracts. They send their legions in, and the cataphracts simply rush out of reach. Those Brutii legionaries become bogged down with the Parthian Eastern Infantry, who are of course no match for the Roman foot troops. Here you see the Armenian elephants and cavalry are finishing off the Scipii cavalry that were still there out on the flank. The Scipii have, interestingly enough, rushed their 2 Archer Auxilia far away from the protection of their main force and up that hill you saw there. They certainly have an excellent height advantage there to increase the range of their missiles. So, with the legions bogged down by the Eastern Infantry, the Parthians have mobbed those legions with charges from their cataphracts all around, They will now be using their alt attack, whereby you hold down the alt button and order them to attack, and they bring out their maces, which bypass enemy armour. And as you can see, the Parthians are able to concentrate against each legion in turn and crush them. Now I, as the Armenians, have rushed my infantry in to support the cavalry with that battle, and it's turned out to be completely unnecessary. The Parthians have managed it all by their own. Cataphracts really are very formidable when you use them correctly. Now, the Scipii Roman Cavalry make a useless attempt to catch up with skirmishing horse archers, who are sent as soon as those Roman Cavalry turn around to plunge into their rear and rout them by their shock value of the charge. Armenian troops briefly get their chance to destroy one of the Brutii legions, concentrating everything they have against them at once, and soon all that the Romans have left are the two Archer Auxilia up on the hill, which are about to be annihilated. As you can see, both Armenian and Parthian armies are rushing up there to finish them off. They're attempting to use flame arrows to make my war elephants run amok, but they are by now more or less doomed. Now this is only the first half of this match. GeneralChaos and Decimator will take the role of the Easterners in the next half, of which there is also a battle video, or will be soon. And I, Cluny the Scourge, and my ally Selifator will play as the Romans. Now many people have said that this map is unfairly balanced against the Romans, and we certainly achieved a fairly quick and decisive victory here as the Easterners. But I dispute that, and in the next battle video you'll see how I and my ally did quite well as the Romans.